You just took your first step into the Pokemon trading card world, and in your local gaming or pop culture store, you come across an unusual pack like this. Welcome one and all, I'm Nick, and today I will be teaching you all the difference between English Pokemon card packs and Japanese Pokemon card packs. Without further ado, let's get started. So for today's demonstration, I've decided to pick one of my favorite sets from the Pokemon Sword and Shield series, the Brilliant Stars set, which is also known in Japan as the Starbirth set. So right off the bat, you can tell instantly the difference with these two. One is smaller and one is larger. Well, they're more thinner. Now, typically in a Japanese card pack, you would get 5 cards, as opposed to the English card packs, which carry at least 10 of them. For some booster boxes, usually in the English version, they would have 36 packs. Now for Japan, there are 2 versions of booster boxes. One usually would be the long rectangular one that most people would say, well, that's a booster box from Japan. But there are two of them. Those ones usually do contain 10 packs for the rectangle boxes, which have a higher pull rate. There is another booster box for Japan that is the same as the English version that has the same amount, 36 packs. Not to mention, a big indicator on what makes these two different are the prices. The prices for these packs are very different. This is cheaper than this one. In Australia, these packs go for about $7 AUD, as opposed to this, which is about $4. Now, depending on where you go, the prices are different, but the standard will always be 7 and 4. Another indicator of the difference between these card packs is the language. Of course, it's in Japanese. It's a no-brainer that this would be in Japanese.
Well, duh.
Look at the design as well. Here's another thing too. Look at the design. Now, I don't have an Arceus version of this one. I just got a Shaman Skyform. You could definitely tell the differences between the two. It is important to note though, that with Japanese cards, even though they are known to be much cheaper, they have a much higher pull rate than their English counterpart. Yep, much higher pull rate to get something rare. Another difference is that English sets do not have that many exclusive sets to their areas, as opposed to Japan, which have special kind of sets for occasions and other things as well. But we'll show you other differences as well as we open up the packs. So right off the bat, what do you see that is different about the English and Japanese set? The cards, to be more specific. Well, you'd know that the Japanese is immensely different to the English version. Have a look at that. The English version has a more spirally, whirlpool-y design. Instead of this gold, sort of brown, yellowy color, khaki if you will, it spawns a more blue color. Also, look at the logo too as well. The yellow inside the actual writing is more brighter than the one on the left side. Not to mention, this is something that Japanese packs do not have. English only have these. This is for the Pokemon trading card game Live. Another thing too as well, what makes this different is that, yes, some Japanese packs do contain energy cards, but always English packs always come with an energy card. Now the thing is with English packs, it's always a hit or miss. So have a look at this too as well. Look at the designs as well. Yeah, we've already got one, a reverse hollow Impidimp right here. Alright, so right off the bat, you'd notice the difference right there, see? And already we've got ourselves, because remember, I mentioned that you get a much higher pull. Very nice indeed, very beautiful card. Very nice. But we'll talk more into the differences between what the actual design of the card and the details that make it different to what the English one is. Right here you see a massive difference here in its borders. So the English version has a more yellowy border and is not that shiny compared to its Japanese counterpart. And these are both reverse hollows. Instead of the background being a shiny, the Japanese versions have different ways of showing their reverse hollows, and this is one of the ways, and that's what makes these card packs more unique and special. Articuno here spouses a silvery grey but shiny at the same time border, as opposed to Impidim's, Impidim's little shiny a bit. It's only faint, but in this it's very visible. Right there, do you see that right there? The English versions of these cards, to know which set they're from, they would use symbols. In the Japanese cards, they would use numbers and lettering to make themselves, to pretty much find out what set they're from. It is also important to know how the Japanese cards, pretty much the reason why Japanese cards tend to be much better quality than their English counterparts. Have a look at how the card is. It's very sturdy, it doesn't bend, it's got some restriction. That's how you know that these cards use better paper quality than their English ones, if I may. It flops a bit. I'm using the same sort of pushing down little motion here. If you see that, look at that. Now all these special cards you see here, and you're probably thinking, well, how much is this? I've already mentioned before in the beginning that typically, and pretty much all the time, Japanese packs are more cheaper than English. However, if you are getting them from Japan, they are more costly than their English counterparts because of the shipping and import fees. Do keep that in mind if you're going to get something from Japan. Because these cards have an easier grading system than these ones, Japanese cards always are in good condition. Well, sometimes, but majority of the time, they are always in good condition. And you can see that with the way that the card is more sturdy, as I said before. Because the card is more sturdy, you can tell that Japanese tend to take a lot of care and put a lot of care into their cards, as opposed to the English ones, which are more cheaply, more massively produced, and that's why you see there's more cards put into these things. But because the Japanese card packs, they have more care put into them. They have less, yes, and they're more cheaper, but still, it is very nice seeing that. That's also the reason why it's more easier to grade it. If you're starting out just collecting the cards and you don't want to spend a lot and you want to get some good stuff, I highly recommend Japanese booster packs. However, keep in mind, if you don't know a lot of Pokemon by heart and it's written Japanese, it may be a little problem. But do keep that in mind. If you are getting Japanese booster packs, just be prepared to see some Japanese writing, no English. And of course, it's always good to research. It's always good to go online or go look out in your local card stores about anything new there. Definitely do give out Japanese cards a try. I'm not saying don't go for the English ones. You can definitely do that. It's perfectly fine. I'm not saying that they're bad, because English do have some moments, some good moments. But for experiences alone, if you want to get some really good pulls, and you want to do it at a nice cost, I highly recommend Japanese packs. But that's just my opinion. So there you have it. There are your differences between Japanese and English packs and cards in general. Now, I may have missed some things. I may have forgotten some important things to note as well. And you could definitely point them out in the comments, of course. I'm always welcome for some feedback and some suggestions too. But I reckon I covered the basics, and that's the important thing, to know the basics and the differences between these cards. So, I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you liked it, well, you know what to do. Until next time, folks, I'll see you in the next video. This is Ottendo signing out.